place for the October 2025 regular meeting of the Marshalltown Community School District Board. Welcome to all of you here joining us this evening in person. We've got a packed house here. I don't know if there's anybody from Rogers who's not here. Brooke, you got about everybody? Okay. Welcome as well to anybody who might be watching via the live stream or watching at a later date or time. We'll do introductions starting to my right. We have board members Zach Wall, Elizabeth Wise, and Sarah Faltis. To my left, Karina Hernandez, Maria Morales, and Leah Stanley. Immediately to my left here at the center table is Dr. Theron Schutte, our Superintendent of Schools. To my right, Mr. Randy Denham, our Board Secretary. I am Sean Heitman. We've also got two of our student school board reps here this evening, Namade. Did I get it? Namade Harmon and Audrey Miller-Pfeiffer. So welcome to you guys as well this evening. We've got a pink sign-up sheet there on the speaker's table for anybody who wants to address the board during public comment time. You will be given 5 minutes to address the board. Please understand that Iowa law prohibits the discussion of specific employees of the district or their job performance. Also, in accordance with board policy, board members will not respond to comments made during public comment so that we can comply with open meeting laws. I think that's all the preliminary stuff. So with that, would you all please join me in reading the mission statement of the Marshalltown Community School District? We develop learners who have the knowledge, skills, and positive mindset to successfully pursue a meaningful future through personalized learning experiences. And please stand as you're able and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any changes to the agenda tonight?
There are not.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Faltis, Morales? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0. And Dr. Schutte, you going to do recognitions?
So Mr. Busby, if you could please come forward. We wanted to take an opportunity to publicly and personally thank Mr. Busby, representing Busby Ventures, for the extremely generous donation that they've made to accommodate all of our elementary students receiving one of these Pride t-shirts.
A little small for me, sir.
Abby had come up with the idea to provide t-shirts and to seek sponsors. Busby Ventures committed to this first year, and the Carters or Marshtown Company have committed to year 2, but I mean, hundreds, if not thousands, of t-shirts have gone out to preschool through 4th grade students throughout the district. I think all of us have seen the pictures of, elation on the faces of these kids, which really makes your heart sing. It's obviously provides a huge sense of pride when kids can wear the red and or blue. And the reality is that many of our kids and our families probably don't have the means necessarily to regularly purchase those or to provide those to their kids, which in part is why, we see that great joy. But we are over at Rogers for a curriculum visit. They're giving a presentation today, and nearly every single kid had their t-shirt on, and staff members too, so it was really, really cool. But on behalf of the district, and this is just one of many ways that your family and or former employer has supported our district over the years, we're just greatly appreciative for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, my words would be one, Abby, I give her a lot of credit. I think the marketing that you guys are doing with the school district is phenomenal. And her and I had a chat over the summer, and we talked about pride. Pride is an incredibly powerful word in my view. Leah Zeal Emerson, people used to say, well, how can you have so much pride in a control valve? And I'd say because that's what we are, and I think school system pride sets the whole pride for the community, and I mean that in the biggest way. So I think it was an easy decision to make. Our businesses are behind Marshalltown and the school district in every way we can be, so thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, looking then at the consent agenda, we've got the minutes from our last meeting. Jackie, any items to note in personnel this time? No? Okay. Looking at our interagency agreements and contracts, there's an amendment or an addendum to a purchase agreement between Gary Albertson and the school district for a property at 8 North 14th Street. And there is the resolution urging the Iowa governor and state legislature to fully fund public schools with an annual 5% increase in state supplemental aid and a phase out of the education savings accounts program over the next 5 years. Looking at open enrollments, we've got 3 out and 8 in. Randy, any items to note in bills or the monthly financials?
I'll just quickly point out on the fund summary report, you'll see that the PEPAL fund balance is currently showing a negative balance as of September 30th. That's just due to timing of our house purchases and summer projects versus the influx of property taxes that'll come in. So come October, you'll see that balance right-sized again.
Any questions for Randy about the bills or the monthly financials? The Transportation Department has a 2000 Ford F-550 dump truck that they would like to have declared obsolete so it can be disposed of, donated, or sold. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Stanley Hernandez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0. Nobody's on the pink sign-up sheet, so are you coming up, Mr. Compost, or just the kids?
I think just the kids.
All right, come on up, guys.
Challenged, right?
I wonder why.
Good evening, school board. I'm Anthony Chavez-Ordaz, and I'm president of the NHI Club at Marshalltown. That stands for National Hispanic Institute. And we just wanted to tell you guys a little bit of our plans for this year and why we're doing what we're doing. So I'll let everyone else introduce themselves.
My name is Ariana Campos, and I am a senior.
My name is Ariel Dominguez, and I'm a junior.
My name is Josue Corral Coronado. I'm a junior.
My name is Eden Rodriguez. I'm a sophomore. My name is Alina Santana. I'm a sophomore.
Before we move on, I also wanted to point out in the picture in our slideshow, that's our previous president, Mia Aguinaga, and previous vice president, Aristeo Herrera, and we're super thankful for them. Next slide, please. So today we're going to tell you guys a little bit about what NHI is according to them and then what it means to us as well. We're going to tell you guys a little bit of our goals for this year, what we're doing to recruit, why you guys should choose NHI, keep supporting them, and why we're excited to keep recruiting. And then we'll tell you guys about the impact and our future together, not just at the programs, but here at Marshalltown as well.
So a brief overview about NHI is that it's a nonprofit organization that focuses on developing leadership skills in achieving high school and college age youth. But it's more than that.
What we mean by NHI being a safe space is that throughout all the programs that we do, everybody experiences the same things, so you're not just going through it by yourself alone because it's like a first time thing for you, but it's also for everybody else, so it's like a comfortable learning environment.
It also feels like a second home, just because, you know, when you're first entering, like my peer said, is that, you know, everybody doesn't feel comfortable in the space that, you know, that they all come from. Well, they do feel comfortable in the spaces that they do come from, but coming into this program, you know, like they don't know anybody. They got to learn, which not many people really like to do, but you know, it's something that every person has to do in their life. But it's just like connecting with other people who also feel the same way and sharing their experiences and thoughts.
And in just a week too, so it's cool to see how much you can connect with people in just a week's time. We can go to the next slide. So we'll tell you guys a little bit of our goals for this year and our key objectives for this year as well. We can go to the next slide, sorry. All right, you can grab that one too if you'd like.
Thank you. Okay, so recruitment has been really good this year. I think we had about 18 people that we got recruited. Our peers, and Angel and Alex. Angel's the one in the gray shirt, and Alex is the one in the white. They recruited during lunch hours and study hall hours, so I passed that on to...
So we chose the lunchroom because it's a really social environment and it's really easy to get going in there. We took a little bit of inspiration from the military recruiters. They always get the crowds going, so we thought it'd be a great place to start. And then since we're recruiting so many people, that's a good problem to have, but it's hard to deal with. So we're thinking this is something that's still in process. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to do this, but we're thinking of having 2 club sectors. It's going to be those who want to travel and wish to travel, and we'll have students competing for those spots. So that in part will make the club more competitive, and that's something we always want to have. And then the other club sector is going to be the community building sector, and we hope to give them a lot of opportunities to not just grow at the programs if they can't go, but also here in the community. We hope to stay busy here as well with more fundraisers and just programs for the community and activities for the community to participate in. We can go to the next slide, please. And I'll let someone else talk about the future fundraisers here.
Okay, so another goal we have is fundraising and bonding. So we want to make NHI accessible and memorable. And some future plans we have for fundraising would be trunk or treat, church partnership, seasonal candygrams, as well as holiday festivities. And what we do with the money that we raise is it goes towards our travels,
as well as our bonding experiences. And we plan to have a few this year. Our plan is to visit a couple museums and art galleries, as well as hosting workshops so we can help our younger recruits get used to the program and what it means really to be an NHI, as well as also visiting colleges. And one of the pictures that you can see of the house is from a previous field trip that we took to Herbert Hoover's house, and we got to see where he was born and learn a little bit about our former president.
We can go to the next slide. So this is my favorite slide. This is where we get to really talk from our hearts about why we like this program so much and why we think it should still be here in Marshalltown and stay strong. It's such a great program, and I think the best part of it is that it's not just a one-time thing. There's 3 parts to the program: the Great Debate, which you can see on their shirts there, and then the LDZ, and of course the CWS is the last one. But something about this program keeps kids coming back, and that's just what makes it stand out so greatly. And I'll let others talk about the key points here. You guys can just grab anyone. You don't have to go in a specific order.
So independence and exploration, it's through travel, introduction to new environments. NHI empowers students to grow in independence, adaptability, and maturity, all of which are lifelong skills. So when you first get through the program here in Marshalltown, you really don't know anything about it, and you feel like you're just sitting in the background, not really connecting. But once you get from point A to point B, in through the programs, so your first, second, third year through the programs, you feel more interconnected, and you feel that you have more experience with the people around you. You also, learn from them, share your memories and experiences that you've had, and it makes you feel more responsible about your own actions, makes you feel more independent, and it's a great way to reset your mind and just talk about your feelings.
I know we've been talking a lot about community, but there is really a community at the NHI events. I've been to the LDZ, and what they do is there is a part in the middle where you all separate into 3 different groups that are the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the judges. And I was with the judges, and I can tell you that I truly did feel connected with my fellow judges, attorneys, and it's just something I really love about this program, the community, and how quickly it happens, because not only is the program only about a week long, but it also, they also have the section where it's only a couple of days. And so you spend that time with them, and you get to know the people. And the people, of course, are from all sorts of different places, from other states and other countries. And it's an amazing feeling to be able to get to know these people, to be able to be friends with them and create those connections.
It also just helps with mental growth. So when you actually get there at the programs, so like Great Debate, Lorenzo de Zavala, or the CWS, you actually can speak your own your own thought processes, and actually mentally grow and strengthen your voice. Because for me, I used to shy away from conversations. I didn't really want to give my voice out, just because if I feel embarrassed and I don't really feel like I have a say in anything. But once I went through it and came here last time when I was a sophomore, I felt more like I was growing as a person and having my own unique traits.
I also want to point out these kids at these programs are really high level, and it's good to surround ourselves with them. There was a girl that had 7 jobs going to that program, and there was also a girl with an aviator's license. So it's cool stuff. These kids are really intelligent. They have great opportunities, and to be able to be around them and spend time with them and find out that they're just like you at heart, it's super cool, and it's just great to be around those people.
And the programs can also give you confidence. For me personally, when I first went to the programs, I wasn't too shy, but I wasn't really confident in my public speaking. And as I went through the 3 different programs, I gained confidence, and now I'm able to speak in front of large crowds.
Do you guys want to add anything before we move on?
Going with the idea that you gain confidence, all the programs push you out of your comfort zone in a really good way. And even if you still don't feel confident, you have a lot of people around you. I'm pretty sure in all the programs you have a team, and they always give you the ability to push you forward, even if you think you can't do it. So you really do meet a lot of good people there.
And then here are some quotes that are from people who are on the program. A lot of them are here also, but hopefully we hope to grow these quotes into a larger amount of them, impacting more people's lives.
Yeah, I'll just give you guys a few seconds to look at these quotes. So, these are quotes that that we, people who prior came to these programs had written their quotes in here, and they just wanted to talk about how it impacted them. So they really just talk about, their skills and how amazing the weeks have went, how, how it felt special, how it felt like, it felt like a connection that was, just priceless to them, just because they know that they can, do better and become a better person as a whole, and, just have a good perspectiveness through other people's and their culture.
Next slide, please. So I want to talk about our future together and what we envision in the future of NHI in Marshalltown. NHI is here to stay, a lasting presence of leadership, confidence, and community within our school. We hope to form a close-knit community where we're all super close, and to do that we have to spend a lot of time together. So we hope to really get busy this year, doing all kinds of activities for the community. We could have a movie night like we did. That was super cool. And we just want to get with the youth again. We want to spend time with Marshalltown's youth, like elementary age kids. I feel like there's a little gap between high schoolers and Marshalltown youth that we should fill. And we want them to know they're seen, and that we want to invest in their future, and that hopefully they become future NHIers, because we want them to be, for sure. They're going to love it. And next slide, please. There's a little cool quote that I found too. No better time to start than now. So next slide. Well, that's all we got. We'd love to answer questions as well if you guys have any.
Well, I'll just say it's wonderful to hear from all of you about how you feel about this organization, as well as the opportunities you've had within it. For those that aren't familiar with it, I think the closest thing I can relate it to is the very exclusive American Legion Boys State and Girls State that only a couple of kids each year, from any school get the opportunity. And this is really open and available to any of our Latino or Latina students. I became familiar with it when I was in the Quad Cities, because we were literally right across the river from Augustana College, where the great debate was held. And then when I came to Marshalltown, I immediately worked with Mrs. Wyatt, who was a high school principal at the time, and Rachel Inks, our migrant coordinator, to try to figure out how we could get it off the ground in Marshalltown and have students be able to take advantage, because it costs money, obviously. And so Mrs. Wyatt was extraordinarily creative on how we could get it off the ground. And I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Campos, because it was tough to get it off the ground. It was tough to convince kids and or their families that it was worth spending a week, where maybe many of them hadn't been gone for a week from home or Marshalltown or away from work or whatever. And Mr. Campos, by turning it into more than just an event, but a club and an experience to engage kids, provide opportunities for kids to share their voice, and to create opportunities for betterment for themselves and the community. It's really flourished. So super excited to hear how you guys feel about it. And I love the idea of you reaching out and hopefully encouraging some of the younger Bobcats to take advantage of it when they get the opportunity to.
I also did want to point out, I don't think I could count how many times Mr. Campos tried to convince me when I first started. And, before long, all of a sudden we're here, and I can't think of anything else than getting more people to join the program. And I'm sure these people, amazing people next to me too, they might not be so excited right now, but once they're seniors or even juniors, they're going to see what I mean by NHI is life-changing, and they're going to love it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
You ready, Brooke?
You can go ahead and go to the next slide. As you can see, I have brought a large group of people with me today. If you were here last year for my presentation, I did the same thing. We are really living our purpose, passion, so that we can see the progress with our students. And our motto this year is empowering every learner every single day. So with me tonight, I have the majority of my leadership team. I believe I have one member that could not make it tonight. They represent every single grade level, our ELL department, our special education department, our title department, and we also have our SRS and our school nurse as part of our team that help make school-wide decisions and give their voice back. And we meet currently twice a month. And we look at everything from school systems to data, a variety of different things. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So I will have them introduce themselves as they come and present tonight. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm just going to start us out with our school year goals. We just presented to you all in May. And so being the second elementary presentation this year, I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? We have so much to celebrate that we didn't know in May. And so we're continuing with our 100% of students, 100% success. I have a really a strong passion that 100% of our kids succeed. And so we didn't meet those goals 100% last year. So this year, 100% of our students will meet their expected growth in literacy and in math. And then we were able to meet our chronic absenteeism goal, which you'll hear a little bit more about later. And so we've increased that goal. Instead of just having their reduction by 1%, we are looking to reduce any chronically absent student, their chronic absenteeism rate by 3% this school year. And again, there you can see kind of our mission and vision each day. As we start to get into our data, I do want to recognize that we are not satisfied with where our school performance profile landed. We know the areas of growth. We've already started to dig into that and look at a roadmap with Shauna about how we can get to that commendable status, but we have a lot to celebrate. And so I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to my team, and they're going to spend the next few minutes sharing all the celebrations around school data as well as school culture celebrations. So up next, Ms. Castle.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Castle, the instructional coach at Rogers. And looking at our data, we may not have made our goal with the school performance profile. However, we did show some growth, and we're going to continue to work towards showing that growth. Both culturally and academically. And we did make a lot of progress last year, if you've seen the differences in our school, and we're not done yet. Like Brooke said, we're not satisfied yet. We're going to keep on trucking here. So next slide. So a few things that we are doing to continue with progress is goal setting with students and families. During our conferences this year, teachers worked with families to create individual learning goals for students, and they had that discussion on how our teachers can help those students and how families can help their student at home as well. So there's an example of that down in the corner. The student wanted to improve their reading accuracy, so the teacher's going to work on tricky letter sounds, and the parents are going to be available for reading whenever possible. So we're really helping to build that goal mindset in our students so they're taking accountability for their own learning. Another way we are moving towards progress is through responsive classroom. In our professional development last week, we had a big focus on teacher language. Knowing when to be silent, making sure that we're following through with our directives and our tone and body language. Our counselor also worked with them on collaborative problem solving, learning the process of the Plan B with individual students. So that was really productive, and we've already seen a lot of growth in these areas when working with teachers, even just in the last week. Student celebrations, oh, no, I wasn't done with that. We're also tying that teacher language back to the interactive modeling piece. We've worked a lot with interactive modeling, just with like our common area expectations, but we kind of changed the trajectory of that to our core instruction within the classrooms, and using that interactive modeling to create those smoother transitions so we can really maximize our learning time. Student celebrations is another thing that we started last year. We do weekly shout outs for students, so since progress monitoring happens, if they grow in their progress monitoring weekly, they get shout outs during their morning meeting. And then with the same shout outs, we'll start a winter competition. You know, that winter is usually the time when students are kind of need that extra little push. So we'll start a winter competition, which is race to the finish line, where they'll just have some healthy competition with the other grade levels, and one grade level will earn a special party at the end if they had the greatest growth. I'm also working a lot with our PLC leads. Instructional coaches meet with our literacy PLC leads 4 times a year and math PLC leads 4 times a year. I've kind of brought them together this year to do some learning around data-driven dialogue, which the book we're basing our learning on is up there in the picture. So I met with PLC leads last Thursday evening and this to learn more about this data-driven dialogue. And this is just a way for us to really think deeper about our data. We're not just thinking about how we're going to respond to our data, but we're thinking about what the causes of this data are and how we can really target what needs to change within this data. And it could be classroom instruction, it could be just like systems, school systems as a whole, but we're really just learning how to dig a lot deeper into our data so we can have a bigger impact on that student achievement. So with the remainder of our PLC lead meetings, we'll continue to dig into that data-driven dialogue text, and we'll continue to practice and work on really diving into our data. So, thank you. I think that's it for me.
Good evening. My name is Julie Vincent, and I am an ELL teacher at Rogers. As many of you probably know, all English language learners are assessed annually on their language acquisitions levels in the domains of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. The set of data on your left is the percentage of students who showed growth on the ELPA 21 summative assessment in February of 2024. And the data on the right is a percentage of students who showed growth in February of 2025. Last year, our growth at Rogers, 65.48% of EL students had an increase in their language proficiency, which is above the state average of 60%. This year, in 2025, this is really exciting, 68.89% of EL students at Rogers showed growth or progression towards English proficiency in comparison to the state's average of 58.38. So, just so you know, our work is not done because we are not at 100%. The EL team at Rogers remains committed to the continued growth of the students we serve. Our team is monitoring students' language acquisition progress through the use of daily language proficiency assessments that are embedded in the CKLA Language Studio curriculum. we are then taking that data and applying it to where our students' goals are housed, which is the elevation program. And at the end of each literacy unit, we will report on which skills the students have acquired during that literacy unit. I think that's all for me. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Julie.
Hi, my name is Suhei Alvarez, and I am the school resource specialist at Rogers. So we'll be talking about attendance. So we did reduce our school-wide chronic absenteeism by 10.27% from spring of 2024 to spring of 2025, the greatest reduction of any school in the MCSD for the 24-25 school year. So our attendance goal for this school year is to decrease chronic absenteeism by 3% for chronic students. So strategies and highlights that we've been implementing this year is a monthly parent newsletter. Each month features a fun attendance theme. October is Let's Fall into Attendance. This month's newsletter focused on the importance of good sleep, illness, tardies, and other tips. So you can tell that that's a sample of, a screenshot of my parent newsletter for families. And then November's theme will be gratitude for good attendance. We have implemented monthly grade level incentives. So for September, winners, second grade received footballs like squish balls. So September's theme was touchdown for attendance. So ongoing support is continued guidance from Anel and Ellie. And next slide, please. I'm also the social media ambassador at Rogers. So our goal is to increase our follower base by 100. So our target is 850 followers. Achievements and recognition is we were champions for the best social media page in the district. How exciting. And I'm very competitive. So we're hoping to be back-to-back champions this upcoming school year. So strategies and things that we've been doing is using TikTok trends to create fun and shareable content. We like showcasing our school spirit through student and staff highlights. We like posting regular updates about events, achievements, and classroom projects. And why it matters, it keeps our families informed and engaged. It celebrates students and staff accomplishments, and it promotes a positive school image in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't follow us on Facebook. You should.
Okay. My name is Kendi Manners. I am the school counselor at Rogers. I'm here to talk to you about our SEBH data, our panorama that we finished up from last school year. So that's what you're looking at there is our teacher perceptions of students. So this is our teachers rating our kindergarten through second grade students from last school year. The thing to note here is, I would say, the thing that we're lowest on right now is self-management, which when we look at our third and fourth grade data, kind of gives us our goal for this year as far as social emotional. And when I go to our next page, go to our, okay, scroll down to our next one, is our third and fourth grade data too. In comparison with a lot of this, we saw some growth, we saw some declining growth. Something that I think is positive is when you're going from fall to winter to spring, this is from spring last year, social awareness is that increase. I think that by the time that spring, it's been all together for the entire year, and we see increases in how socially aware our students are. Something that I think is our focus is self-management. That's our goal as far as counseling, as far as behavior and social emotional learning is concerned. That was one of our lowest for kindergarten through second grade. Not our lowest in third and fourth grade, but one of our lowest. And we want to build on the foundational skill that our students are able to successfully identify their emotions and know what to do with each of those emotions. I think that kind of overflows into how they're able to emotionally regulate and how socially they are aware of others that they're around. And that can help with our school climate as well. So that's our focus for this year. We're hoping to increase how our students feel about themselves on these third and fourth grade panorama needs assessments.
And the third and fourth graders, that's the students respond to that, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, it's a lot different on the kindergarten through second grade. They're asked different questions too. So our teachers are answering like 2 or 3 questions on each of their students here. So that's why we see like drastically different percentages. Whereas on our third and fourth grade percentages, they're answering, I think one of the surveys is 23 questions and another is another 10 questions. So we have our third and fourth graders answering a lot of questions, and so those percentages look a little bit different, and that's why they're not so comparable to the teacher and the student. So yes, this is our students rating their own social and emotional skills. Okay, and then. And to go into that, our Tier 1 approaches that are addressing our social and emotional behavior data is here, and one of our teachers is going to talk about that.
Hey, I'm Ashley Verdinas, and I teach second grade. And like Chelsea was saying, when we had our professional development, we went through the responsive classroom of the teacher language. We've been working a lot on interactive modeling, which we were doing, but maybe we weren't using the teacher language, like the tone, being calm, being reinforcing, reminding, and redirecting. And like Chelsea was saying, I think we've seen it in our school that, you know, we had that PD, and a lot of us went back to our classrooms and we're like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Like, what are we gonna change? And I think something that I've been really working on is staying silent. I like to repeat what my students say, because maybe they didn't hear, but what we were taught was we gotta stay quiet so that students are being respectful for their own peers. Because if they're like, oh, Miss Ashley would just repeat for me, you know, I don't have to pay attention to my classmate because she'll repeat it back. And they need to learn to be respectful to everybody in the classroom. And that way they're being good listeners to not just me, who I'm the teacher, but to their peers. So that's something we've been really working on at Rogers, is that teacher language. And then through the Fly 5 lessons this summer, as a building leadership team, we, instead of going through cooperation, assertiveness, and starting like the CARES expectation, we decided to start with self-control. That's something our kids need at the beginning of the school year, is like to learn some self-control. And then we're just starting this week on responsibility. And I think we are really focusing as a school on our CARES expectation. Anytime we are, okay, where's our CARES expectation? Are you being assertiveness? Are you being showing self-control? And picking our students, I think for Students of the Week, we really focus on that and telling them why they were picked. What did they do for meeting those CARES expectations?
And just also mention with Fly 5 lessons, that's our social emotional curriculum, and that is delivered by in coordination with teachers and the school counselor. So we're teaching that in conjunction. I'm still in the classroom, which I love being in the classroom teaching guidance lessons, and it's also amazing for our teachers to get to experience teaching our kids social emotional curriculum, which has been really, really successful to collaborate with them in that way. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit about school culture. Do you have stuff that you're gonna say for that too?
I do.
Super. Okay.
Hi, I'm Wendy Lang.
Do you want to get us started?
Special ed teacher.
And I'll just add
I'm going
on.
to just get us started. What she keeps asking me if I am. No. Our school community continues to shine with incredible family engagement and school spirit. This year, we've seen families more involved than ever, attending events, volunteering their time, and contributing their talents and resources to support our students. From the Fall Resource Fair, which after hearing in NHI, they might be a company or people we want to invite, and Oktoberfest Parade, to the goal setting with the parents and students at conferences. Our families have shown up with enthusiasm and pride. Regular communication through our monthly Bobcat Bulletin family newsletter has helped keep everyone connected and informed, while special events like Love to Read Night and the Spring Carnival are great upcoming celebrations of learning and community togetherness. Do you want to say anything, or you want me to continue?
Actually, the next slide, so if you want to scroll just so they can see the pictures and then
Oh,
we'll go
I'm
back.
sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's why you're asking me. Everything comes together, full circle.
So I'm Emily Carson, and this school really means a lot to me because I went to the school in the 70s. Rogers Roadrunner. I think Theron knows about that. But anyway, it's really interesting. It's really exciting for me to see not just the student, but the families really come together and be excited about the culture at our school. And kids are really, really involved, and we've been doing some in-house fundraising and brought over $2,500, which goes directly back into the students' activities. They're really a part of that. It can be just little things, but it's really important to focus and celebrate on those students. We collaborate all the time with the families. I think it's important to not forget about the families as well. It's really interesting because when families come into the office, they seem excited about the kids learning, and it's a good feeling. So at the end of this month, the staff, not all of us, are having a pumpkin painting competition, and the kids get to vote for which one is the best, and they get a prize. But after that, when the voting will go on Facebook, so the parents and community can vote as well.
Nice.
So.
Let me just say I have a pumpkin out there. I appreciate a vote.
I'm Melanie Knoll. I'm first grade at Rogers, and part of our school culture family engagement is to get the parents to trust us and care about us, and then in turn we see growth in our students' learning.
Can you go up?
Can you go back?
The one
Back
I
up.
skipped?
Yes, this one.
She's in it.
Yeah.
They were just excited to share.
Hello, board members. Terry Eisenbarth, and I want to start by saying thank you for serving as board members because I don't think you guys get paid to do this, and I think you do 2 board meetings a month, right? So, bless you. Thank you. Now that brown nosing is out of the way, we have a lot of really, really, really good, passionate focus for students at Rogers. You can tell that already, I'm sure. I know some of you were able to come Friday, some of you weren't, but some of you have been in the building before, so you can kind of smell the climate and see how we are engaging students. And you can also read on the slide. I'm going to just highlight a couple of them that I think, from my perspective, are galvanizing to something that we keep doing that. It's here for good. And one would be, and some people don't think of it this way, but Monday morning announcements. Today was Monday. And Principal Grossheim will get on at all school and we'll go through who gets tabbed as Student of the Week. Okay? And then that ends up feeding into Student of the Month at our assemblies. But the cool thing about it is sitting there and watching my third graders cheer for every kindergarten, first grader for getting something, and the why. It isn't just that they win something, it's the why. And the reason I use the word galvanize is because it's really it's embedding our culture. This is what a Student of the Week does to model who Rogers is, who Marshalltown Community School is. So I think that's really, really, really important because it's consistent and just ongoing, and it really, in a way, is kind of sending the message to everybody, this is how we do it here, and when you do that, you get recognized for it. Another thing that I'd like to address on that list would be the student leadership team, and I know that some of you had that opportunity Friday, and talk about a great thing, because a lot of times in education, the teachers or the grown-ups tend to be the bosses or do all the work, and really the kids are the ones that need to feel that skill and develop that will to say, hey, I'm gonna be assertive and I'm gonna lead, embrace the lead as the district mission. And so you got to see that from those who were on the leadership team, and then I know if you came to the third grade classroom, you got to see even additional leaders that were kind of sharing and taking that lead to say, hey, we're Rogers, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. So, like I said, I know that you know what we're doing there. Those are a couple things, but we obviously care about kids. We're passionate about helping them learn and grow on their test scores and all their content and skills, but we're also whole child here. We love our kids, and hopefully you can see that loud and clear. Thank you.
I do want to add one more thing about our student leadership team. This team is comprised of fourth grade students who went through an application process to join this team, not having much vision for what it's looked like because it's our first time having student leaders in a team organized in our building. So this was amazing. They just blindly, they're like, put their faith in me. They said, okay, Mrs. Manners, whatever you want to do, let's do it. And there were 50 of our 50 fourth grade students, 27 of them completed an application that they wanted to be a part of this team. And that process was written responses asking them why they want to be a leader, explaining an example of a time that they showed leadership. And they even took that home to their parents, had their parents look at that. Responsible students brought these back, and 27 of them. So there was a lot to go through with these students, and so just really, really proud of just not only the ones that were chosen, but all of the ones who exhibited that just leadership to even want to be able to be a part of this team. So we're really excited about that. I'm really excited to not have the microphone in my hand so much when we have assemblies and give that to them to kind of pass off to them and facilitate some of our school assemblies. So really excited about that, honing in on their leadership skills, doing some training with them, planning different activities throughout the school year, like celebrating Kindness Week and Teacher Appreciation Week, welcoming new students, helping them mediate peer conflicts, things like that. So really excited about the future of our student leadership team.
Okay, can you go up? One more slide. Okay, so like you can see in the pictures there, for school culture, also with staff engagement, I think we've been feeling very blessed and loved to have like our get-togethers, you know, and having people really attend it and not just few. It's a lot of our staff that goes to the get-togethers, having a lot of fun theme days. We get to dress up and like you can see there, I know we have some next week for dress up, so we're really excited for that. And I think if been seeing more, like you can see in the pictures, a lot of staff that participate, then kids see that and then they want to participate too when we have the theme days for them.
My name is Courtney Arp, and I am a kindergarten teacher at Rogers. And I'm just going to add into the school culture and staff engagement. I love coming to work every day because even on the hard days, I know that I'm going to be supported and loved. And sorry, I'm pregnant. I'm also clearly. But anyways, even on the hard days, I love coming in, and I know that someone's going to give me a smile, and it's going to turn my day. But we do positive postcards, so those are monthly. We're encouraged to give a postcard to anybody in the building, staff member, and I enjoy receiving those, but I also love giving them too, and I feel like I try to think of somebody who may not be seen that's doing incredible work that may be kind of under the table that we are not seeing and talking about during like Teacher of the Week and month and things like that. So that's who I kind of like to give my postcards to. We also do Teacher of the Week, which is announced in the morning meeting. So Terry was talking about that. So we do a Teacher of the Week that's nominated, and then we also do a Teacher of the Month, which is nominated during our assemblies. Underground Staff Spirit Weeks, Ashley talked a little bit about that, so the kids don't know that those are coming, and so it's really fun to see. They're like, oh, what's going to be tomorrow and whatnot. So we have one next week, which we're all really excited about. I did just want to talk about our Woot Woot Wagon. So that comes periodically. We don't ever know when it's going to happen, when they're going to pop up. But all of a sudden, some loud music will be coming into the room and cheering and whatnot. There's a picture of it in the bottom two pictures on the right here. So Miss Mimi and Terry. And the wagon is filled with goodies, drinks, treats, all sorts of things just to kind of encourage us and get us through our day. And then if you want to click play, that's kind of how we decided.
Click on the big
on the yes, picture, that one.
It will be a video, and you can see it live in.
like you can see in that video, we are a Rogers family, and we're all together. So, thank you. I'll just wrap us up by saying that we have a lot of fun every single day at work, and I feel like it's my job to create the environment where my staff wants to come to work every day, and through that, we hope to make a difference in the lives of kids every single day, empowering every learner every single day as I empower my staff to be their best version of themselves. So thank you again for hearing our presentation tonight. Do you have any questions?
First of all, I want to say that you're doing an amazing job. You can tell the excitement, the work culture that you have created. I was telling Karina, I said, now I want to cry, and I'm not pregnant. And the reason I say that is because I went to Rogers when I was little. My family and I migrated here from California. I was born in California, so we came to work they were farm workers, and so I went to school here, and you can just tell the difference between the work culture that I experienced to what it is now. You know, how everybody is, not that it was bad by no means, but you can really see the shift and see how exciting and how everyone takes it seriously, wanting to connect to those students and wanting to make them feel included, and also still make it fun and learn. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm really proud. Something I'm really proud of is that I retained 100% of my staff last year to this year, except for one retirement. And I think that says a lot about the culture that we've been able to build in our building. So that's a real point of pride for me. So, but I say that humbly because without the team, we wouldn't be who we are. So thank you.
Any other questions, comments from anybody?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you,
job,
everybody.
everyone.
Yes, you'd be great.
Girls, you ready? Okay.
Hear the conversation.
Hello. Okay. So, she's gonna go down. Okay, thank you. So the PSAT exam is coming up. The deadline was October 15th, and we'll be taking on October 28th. Great preparation for the SAT, possible qualification for the National Merit Scholarship, and the fee was $18. And our VHS club. So our posters have been printed and they're like hung around the school. We've already secured some members. A requirement is that they have to be passing all their classes. I have loved the whole process. Oh my gosh, is that out of order? It's okay.
I think they have
Yeah, I think they have
the old version.
Yeah.
I think that's all right. Keep us on our toes.
Okay. Okay. So, as I was saying, I've loved the whole process of managing and planning this club. I'm excited to host this and connect with our members through a shared interest. We still have a few things we need to plan out. However, we will start with ensuring we have a solid group and focus on those later. So this idea came to us over summer. Audrey messaged me and she said that I have this idea. I don't know if it's good, but what do you think about it? And I was like, why didn't I think of that? That's cool. And she basically asked me, do you want to co-found? And I was like, okay, yeah. And I'm happy we did because this has been really fun. And our sponsor is Mrs. Idol. So out of order, don't know where we are.
I just don't think.
Yeah. I think, I don't know because I didn't delete it. I think maybe did Miley accidentally delete it?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, National Honor Society, we had our blood drive. It allowed students an opportunity to save lives and earn their blood donation cord for graduation. The donation day falls on October 29th. We still have spots open. Students will be running the stands. I participated in that, both helping with before giving blood prep and after blood during respective lunches, A, B, C, and D. I don't know why she put if you'd like to donate blood. I don't think y'all are allowed to do that, but yeah. Where the heck is that? Okay. So October 20th, ENR, there's going to be an informational session where they basically talk to students about counseling careers, psychology, counseling, sociology. Their preference is juniors and seniors. An MCC professor will be coming to lecture students about this, and it allows students to explore careers in social work. Where are we now? Okay, is that also me?
MCC Healthcare Day. The deadline to sign up was October 17th. It's a great opportunity to explore healthcare career fields. It's exclusive to juniors. They'll also be able to learn about MCC programs related to healthcare, and they'll be going on October the 24th, 9:45 to 12:30. Only 10 students are allowed. They'll mainly be focusing on nursing, medical assisting, and dental assisting. And then some of the athletic news. Our team lost their game against Waterloo Les this last Friday, 13-45. In volleyball, varsity has a tournament here in the Roundhouse. The girls lost 2-0 to Roosevelt, but won 1-2 against DM East. The girls swim team and diving has their conference meet at Mason City at the high school pool. And Wednesday is a swimming conference meet at Mason City. And the girls cheer team are getting ready for state cheer that we'll be competing in on November 1st. They are really excited and have been working on all their skills to be ready for the competition. The boys and girls XC. The teams have their state qualifying meeting at MCC this Wednesday against some pretty high-end schools, so please go out and support our Bobcats.
Already went over that one.
I think we're just missing the one at the end.
FBLA, I think.
This week, our FBLA club was busy packing cookies from Crumble and Hy-Vee to deliver to kids who signed up during lunch. And then you can see the pictures.
Any questions?
Tell me again, what was the club or the group that you talked about first?
VHS.
Which is?
It stands for Video Horror Society.
It's basically a club where we are planning on getting together and watching different horror movies. We have other activities planned as well. I thought of the idea of maybe towards the end of the year of maybe making our own short horror film, which I'm pretty interested in film. And also maybe can you think of other ones?
You had a bake sale idea and horror creative writing. I really like that one. I love writing. So
short stories and stuff like that. We'll be sure to update you guys to tell you how that's going.
Yes.
So how many people do you have in the Society for Horror Fans?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
We put up the posters with the QR code for them to fill out a Google form.
Yeah.
And we did that Friday, and so far today we had 2 people.
But then we have our friends who have not filled out that yet.
We
So
need to
yeah. Yeah. So I'd say about 5 altogether. And 9 is the minimum, so we're we're gonna up that a little bit. Yeah, it's been really fun. I'm excited.
Okay, as long as we're talking about it, and it's spooky season anyway, what's your favorite horror movie?
That's literally on our poster. What's your favorite scary movie from Scream? I've watched so many. I can't choose. I cannot choose. Oh, I can't choose. What's yours?
I honestly can't
Yeah.
pick either, but if I had to guess, maybe the first Scream movie. It's a classic.
It's a classic.
It is a classic. Came out when I was in college. That must make it a classic. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm more of a Nightmare on Elm Street guy myself. But,
that's a classic.
Yeah, now
No, that's a classic. Yes.
it's not. It's in color even too. First item I have tonight is we've been having construction meetings with Boyd Jones regarding the Miller Middle School project. We are now kind of at the stage where we have to start doing some of the formalities regarding resolutions, ordering constructions, approving specs and estimates of cost for the project, public hearings on all of those things. The bids for the majority of the project are still planned for February, so we'll be doing this whole process again, probably starting in late December or January sometime. But there are certain aspects of the project related to architectural, structural precast, concrete, exterior glazing and curtain walls and elevators. So Boyd Jones, along with Envision, are putting together an early bid package because most of these items have a lead time of at least a year, if not longer. So we want to start the process now, the formalities to get these resolutions in place. So the resolution in front of you tonight is ordering construction of these early bid packages. Right now, the date for these bids to be back is, let me pull it up here, November 11th is when the bids will be due back, and then Boyd Jones will turn around and have those ready for us, and we'll hold a public hearing on these on November 17th, and we'll be looking to award the early bids for these precast items at the November 17th meeting, and then have formal contracts ready for the early bid packages for your approval, hopefully by the December 1st meeting. And then we'll do the process again for the rest of the project, like I said, probably in January, February.
Are there questions for Randy? Okay. If there are not, is there a motion to approve the resolution ordering construction of the Miller Middle School project and fixing a date for taking bids for the early bid packages as presented, and setting a public hearing for
Correct.
November 17th at 5 p.m.?
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
Wall Faltus? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0.
All right. And the next item on the agenda is discussion of the district's voluntary early retirement policy. This is something per board policy that we review every year around this time after certified enrollment numbers are available. Certified enrollment is down this year. We'd certified that information last week, and so we're down about 85 students overall, and that's the first piece of the budget as we get ready for the 26-27 budget year. With that said, we have not offered early retirement since 2021, and that has been mainly due to staffing shortages within the district. We are at a point now where we do have staffing shortages, and so looking at this, we are seeing this might be an opportunity potentially offer early retirement this year. We met with the finance committee last week, Dr. Schutte and myself, and reviewed this information with them. Being as that we're in a good spot staffing wise, We haven't offered it in a few years, and with some of the new law changes that have been enacted over the last couple of years, this is an opportunity for staff that if they wish to take this early retirement incentive, it allows them some additional flexibility, basically to get the best of both worlds, where they can start taking their IPERs if they're at a point where they can still be covered under the district insurance, and even potentially come back and work and get additional IPERs under IPERs covered employment. So kind of a perfect storm to where we felt this was a valuable conversation to have, and we wanted to open it up for board feedback tonight, and then look at bringing a recommendation back at the November 3rd board meeting. This year, we do have 46 staff members that would be currently eligible for early retirement. Highly unlikely that all 46 would take it. 38 of those 46 are teachers. And yeah, I'll stop there, and I guess I'll open it up to any additional comments or questions from anyone.
Well, can you remind everybody and maybe tell some folks for the first time who've never really thought about it, what the eligibility criteria is, and then what the early retirement incentive
that's good. So to be eligible for early retirement, members have to be age 55 or older at the time or as of June 30th, 2026. And also be an employee of the district for 15 consecutive years. So those are the two criteria that staff need to meet to qualify for early retirement. Early retirement is also paid out of the district's management fund. And so we do have some reserves built up in the management fund that could help take care of those costs. The benefits provided to staff members, should they choose to enroll in it, is that they get their health coverage or health insurance paid at the same rate that they're getting now. So they're essentially locked in at current health rates for either up to 96 months or 8 years, or until they turn age 65, whichever occurs first. So again, it allows, because with the policy, with the way it's worded, if there is benefit increases year over year, the district absorbs the first 5% of an increase. So for example, when we had a 16% increase a few years ago, we absorbed the first 5% of that increase, and then the retirees who were on the early retirement incentive at that time took on the remainder. So it is a cost benefit to them because they're due to inflation most years. And historically, our increases have been in the 0 to 3% range for the most part. Especially these last several years, with the exception of a couple of outlier years here and there. So it is an advantage for the retiree to get basically a lower cost out-of-pocket health insurance premium.
Single.
Well, there are a handful that do get, if they had, so for example, if they were part of the grandfathered back in 2019, they would get that $900 benefit towards the family. So it's an advantage for those folks as well.
Randy, if I'm understanding this correctly, we're trying to be financially responsible and offer this to teachers that want to retire early. But there'd probably be a cost savings to the district, correct?
Correct. On average, it was I thought I had it on here. I don't think I saved it. On average, it was about $25,000 to $30,000 per employee that we could potentially save. The estimated cost that we had, if all 46 people took the plan, it was going to be $844,000 in total cost savings. While it's not realistic that every single person is going to jump on that, it's realistic to assume roughly 10 or 7 to 10 people, maybe up to 12. So you could see savings of anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. But it also, the flip side of that is, if it's a veteran teacher that's leaving, let's say is MA 45, step 27, and if you're replacing them with a BA step 5, that's your max cost savings. It's likely somewhere in the middle somewhere, but yes, there is cost savings with that.
I think it's great to see that we're in a great position hiring wise this last year to be able to offer this to potential staff members.
Go, Jackie.
And as Randy said, I think usually it's been anywhere from 7 or 8 to 12 or 14 people have taken advantage. Since we haven't offered it for a few years, I wouldn't be surprised if a few more took advantage of it, thinking it may not come around for another 4 or 5 years. But it is great to be in a position of being able to make that available again.
Have we thought about a limit in case is there's like, if 20 requested or 30? Have we?
Well, it's board policy, so I guess if you as a board wanted to put a limit on that, you could. 'Cause it's the board policy, so it's up to you as a board to decide if there's a limit on that.
I think the only time that there's been an inordinate number of people that have all taken advantage of it was before this board, when it was communicated that it would never be offered again. We don't have any intentions of saying that, but it's just not guaranteed that it's going to be offered every year.
Yeah, because historically, there was more of a practice.
Yeah.
If you go back several years, right? Okay.
For many, many, many years, it was just a given that it was going to be available year after year, and I'm not sure exactly what year it was, probably before 2015, when the district had made a decision to significantly change the incentive, because there used to be a stipend in addition to the insurance that was made available. And then, like I said, they communicated at that time that it would be the last time, and so there were like 40 that took advantage that year. I don't know how many were eligible, but since they believed it would never be available again, they thought if they were eligible, they'd take advantage of it. But this will be the third time, I believe, that it's been made available in the 10 years that I've been here, and we pretty consistently had the numbers take advantage that Randy's mentioned.
Just trying to think ahead. We don't want, all the great effort that Ms. White has been doing and then being back to square one, which it doesn't sound like it would be a case.
Yeah, the plan would be to bring this back for formal board approval at the next meeting, and then, as we've done in the past, essentially allow for the month of November and December prior to going into winter break, probably the last date of school.
Yeah, I believe per the policy, staff roughly have 45 days upon approval to get their submissions into us. So yeah, if we approve at the November 3rd meeting, that would give them till essentially right before winter break to let us know their intentions of whether they wish to retire.
Okay.
And then we can make determinations on what positions warrant replacing or not, and then right away in January get those jobs advertised, which is about as early as most districts put jobs out there.
How many teachers you said are
38.
eligible? 38. Do you know secondary?
We have 2 administrators, 4 secretaries, and 2 B&G employees.
What was the second part of your question, Karina?
Like is there, like for teachers, secondary and
That split, I don't have that split in front of me.
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
And you mentioned that the early retirement benefits are paid out of the management fund,
Correct.
correct?
Yep.
Well, it didn't sound like anyone is opposed to it, Randy. So
Okay.
I think it should probably
Yeah.
come back at the next meeting, and
All
we
right.
can take it up for consideration.
Yeah, and if there's any additional information needed by the next meeting, just let me know and I can make sure we have that.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Policies.
Bear with me. We've got a few of these to go through. I'm going to go a little bit out of order because all of the ones that I'm going to speak to are within the first reading, but we have some that will need to come back due to them being new policies. So I'm going to start with a few policies that we're going to be recommending as mark as reviewed because there's no changes. The first one is 401.05 employee records. No recommended changes, and that would be a mark as reviewed. And then 501.08 student attendance records. No recommended changes to that. That would be mark as reviewed.
Okay. Let's do it this way then. Are there any questions for Dr. Schutte about 40105 and 50108? If not, those will be marked as reviewed. Then you can take them up in whatever order you want to do next.
Then there's a few policies. I think it's 4 of them that would be new policies for the district, so these would definitely need to come back. They should have been probably listed under review and then to come back as a first reading. The first one is 206.03, board secretary or secretary position. The second is 503.09, student use of personal electronic devices. This is a policy that I think we speak to some of it in other policies within our technology, but the recommendation is to have an exclusive policy to this topic. So Amy has reviewed these to make sure that they're in line with our current practice. So that would come back as a first reading at the next meeting. Another one that's related, 503.09 R1, student use of personal electronic devices, the same. And then 901, public examination of school district records. That would come back as a first reading as well. These are policies and or new policies that are recommended by IASB that we didn't currently have on the books.
Okay. Are there questions about 206.03, 503.09, 503.09 R1, or 901? Okay, those will come back as a first reading, right? That's the intention?
Yes.
Okay.
The next few policies were policies that you saw at the last meeting, but they didn't necessarily have the changes illustrated very clearly for you, so we brought them back. 102.E1, annual notice of non-discrimination. 102.E2, continuous notice of non-discrimination. In both of those cases, gender identity was removed as a result of legislative action as a protected class. 104.E2, anti-bullying, anti-harassment witness disclosure form. On these policies, there was an explicit separation of discrimination from harassment as was legislated. The same with 104.E3, anti-bullying, anti-harassment disposition of complaint form. .02, child abuse reporting. These changes are a result of a few years ago, the legislation mandated that school districts require their employees annually to be trained in child abuse reporting as well as dependent adult abuse. And then they recently rescinded having to do the training on dependent adult abuse. So it removes that from the policy. .506.01 education records access. A lot of this speaks towards the ability of people to request records that have a need to know, and who within the district office, essentially, usually it's Randy, Jackie, it could be, or it could be me, that they would make the request to have copies of records, so to be able to see records. 708, care, maintenance, and disposal of school district records. There are a few changes to that. Most of that falls under Randy's purview. 710.01, E1, school nutrition program notices of non-discrimination. That too had the gender identity removed as a protected class. 710.01 E2, child nutrition program civil rights complaint form. The same adjustment was made there. 804.02 district emergency operation plans has some information in it that would be relative to the student use of personal electronic devices. 804.06 use of recording devices on school property. There's been some adjustments based on legislation there as well. All of those policies that I've just referenced, many of which you saw at the last meeting, some of which you didn't, all of the changes that we've made are because the law now says we must have that in there. So my recommendation on these would be for the board to approve this first reading and waive a second reading.
Are there any questions for Dr. Judy? Then we'll need a motion to amend 102E1, 102E2, 104E2, 104E3, 402-2, 506-01, 708, 710-01, E1 and E2, 80402 and 80406, and waive the second reading.
Second.
Faltis Morales, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0.
The good news is, after the next meeting, I think we'll be back on track to only having 3 or 4 policies to review. There were a lot of changes based on the most recent legislative session.
Liz, did you have the other initial review policies?
I did.
Okay.
So I have policy 210.06, quorum, no changes, marked as reviewed. Policy 210.07, rules of order, no changes, marked as reviewed. And 210.07-R1, rules of order regulation, no changes, marked as reviewed.
Any questions for Liz? Okay. Then those will all be marked as reviewed. Well, Abby's not here, so I can't ask if there's any additional communications tonight. Committee reports. As Randy noted, the Finance Committee met last week and discussed, I think, just the early retirement stuff, right? So you all now are up to speed with us. The Auditorium Committee met last week, talked about the Brothers Doobie concert and the upcoming fundraiser that they're doing that Joseph Kaczynski is coming back to do. They said he was going to talk for like an hour and a half presentation he was going to do. So that's what Bonnie said.
Wow. And that's in November, right?
It's in November, yeah. And they're trying to keep tickets for that down to where it's, an affordable thing for families to attend, because they want to fill up the auditorium.
So we'll get information pushed out to board members once those promotional materials are out there. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen anything yet, no. Other committees that have met since the last time we got together? Okay. Reminders, Zach, you have initial review policies for the November 3rd meeting.
I'll throw out a clarification of an email that some people got and some people didn't from the Marshtown Education Association. On Thursday, October 30th, from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Marshtown Public Library, MEA is sponsoring a forum with invites to the 3 incumbents, Karina, Leah, Zach, and the other candidate, Eric Goslinga. It will be no more than an hour because they have to be out of the library within an hour. It'll be very similar, I'm sure, in terms of the types of questions that have been asked in the past relative to what are your goals and for the district and that sort of thing. So there was miscommunications in terms of some people got it that should have got it, some people got it that shouldn't have got it, meaning current board members who are not up for re-election at this time. So I didn't see anything come through today to rectify that. I'll reach back out to MEA leadership just to make sure they get those appropriate invites out in a timely fashion, knowing that that's a week away. So.
Any other reminders for anybody? Chamber doing some sort of a candidate forum, do we know?
Have not heard anything from them.
I think
on
there's
that.
only one this year, the MEA, I believe, that's told.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any items for consideration for a future agenda?
We'll continue to work on putting something together relative to the transportation item that was brought up at the last meeting, and we'll also try to get out information to the board members, basically assignments on adopting a school for the year that you can connect with in a little bit more explicit way. We'll try to focus on schools that your kids didn't attend, assuming that you are very familiar with those, at least for year one. And then if it's something that we want to continue, we'll just rotate year after year so you get experiences at different buildings with different people.
Anything else? Okay. What have we done this evening to improve education for the students in Marshalltown?
I like all of the excitement at Rogers. It feels like a different building. So that's it's nice to see that change.
Yeah, Sue Hay has helped lead, and Brooke as well, an amazing marketing effort to show the great things that are happening like we have in every building, daily, weekly, monthly. And I would say it's fair to, and a lot of that has been through the facilitation of Abby with the social media ambassador program.
Yep.
And it has definitely upped the game of all of the elementary schools to try to figure out how to manage it, for sure. They've done a wonderful job of marketing.
When you pointed it out when Terry was here, almost all of those kids at Rogers had their shirts, had those their Bobcat Pride shirts on, and that was pretty neat to see Friday, seeing all those kids with their Bobcat shirts on. So.
My daughter came home the day before, the day they received them, so excited, and normally she's not that excited to pick up her outfit for the following day, but she said she had to wear blue pants to match her blue shirt, and everybody was supposed to wear them. She picked out her bow. She was all ready to go. She was really excited. I was like, oh, little bobcat spirit.
Glad to hear about NHI.
Yep.
Something they didn't mention, but we had NHI did they get an award or something last year?
Yeah, last year they were named high school or NHI District of the Year, and so they've got a banner hanging in the high school now.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So I was going to bring it up and I totally forgot, but it's really nice to see that group. When I get to stay late at the high school, I get to see them gather, and they're so much fun to work with. And I've been part of their work last year for a couple events, and the parents are involved, and the way they engage parents it's so great, and the way they work within each other is so great. I got to hear them get started without even a facilitator in the room. They just started their meeting because the adult was running a little late, so they're such leaders. So it's so great that they're looking down to even elementary age to try to recruit or just talk about it. So it's great.
It's fun to see the growth in those kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of those kids have been coming for a couple of years now,
Sure.
and they start out as the shy kids at the end who are unwilling or unable to talk, and then at the end they're leading the show, right? So that's pretty neat to see too.
Good.
Anything else?
Well, I know a lot of the board members have volunteered and assisted to help this year or in past years with our sixth grade students down at JA Biztown, and a couple things that came to light recently was, and I usually hear this about every year, the JA staff just really commending the quality of students and staff that we send down there. I think our staff do a wonderful job of preparing those kids to the extent they can, because they can never be totally prepared for it. There's always a point where, as a volunteer, you kind of lose control of where everybody's at because they're just so excited about shopping and doing whatever they do. But every single year, and the staff have changed over time. I just hear about how great our kids are down there. And then the other thing is, I sit on the executive board of JA of Central Iowa, so whether it be at the full board or executive board meetings, Marshalltown is just getting all kinds of accolades for our willingness to step forward with the JA 3DE implementation. And I know a lot of them are super excited to see, some of the end product with the culminating events, as we are. But they're also somewhat jealous that, their district or their kid's district isn't the one that's, getting this off the ground. And I know there'll be a lot of attention to how this goes in hopes of another district or two jumping on board for next year too. So kudos to Karina and the team for moving that forward.
That's quite some work there.
Okay. If there's anything else, or if there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Faultus, Wise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Just a couple of things from the public. If you